5 figures stood silently in the air, and the previous commotion in the surrounding area seemed to gradually fade away. The gazes cast upon them were filled with awe and apprehension, as the mention of the newly established Elephant Palace was not as commanding as the long-standing terror inspired by Mang Mountain. In the ensuing silence, Lin Dong's gaze settled on those 5 figures. 4 of them wore blood-red robes, exuding an air of arrogance tinged with madness. Yet, the palpable, formidable energy emanating from them suggested they indeed had the right to be this irreverent. At the center of these 4 figures was a man dressed in blue. Hands behind his back, he stood with striking handsomeness, his demeanor void of any visible arrogance, unlike the others. In their midst, he exuded a unique aura of nobility that rendered the surrounding 4 slightly overshadowed. It was evident that this man was the mystic king, Luo Tong, one of the 5 kings of Mang Mountain, and a foremost expert from the 9 Phoenix clan. The 9 Phoenix clan, a dominant clan from ancient times, carried a nobility similar to the rebelliousness of the heavenly demon Mink clan and the grand ambience of the Dragon clan. The blue-clad man looked indifferently at the distant Elephant Palace without resorting to taunts like his peers. This restraint was not due to decorum but rather because he simply deemed those in front of him unworthy of such effort. The heavenly arena has not even begun. What are you gloating about? The heavenly dragon demon commander, long aggrieved by Mang Mountain, sneered openly at their mockery. Ah, heavenly dragon, it's been a while. You seem much bolder now. A man in blood-red clothing, Ting Feng, one of the eastern kings of Mang Mountain, smirked, his gaze mocking the heavenly dragon. Perhaps it's because you have some new allies by your side. Next to Ting Feng, the southern king Ting Lin eyed Lin Dong and Little Yin with amusement. So, this is the new demon commander of Thunder Abyss Mountain? We've heard quite a bit about you all recently. Oh, and Shintian Palace is likely in your possession, isn't it? At the mention of Shintian Palace, Lin Dong's eyes narrowed slightly. Many knew of the treasure, but few realized it was the palace itself. This revelation made it clear the opponent knew it very well too. The item is indeed in my possession, but once something is in my hands, I see no reason to give it up, Lin Dong responded with a smile. The Eastern King Ting Feng chuckled at this and stared at Lin Dong. Don't worry, I won't ask you to hand it over voluntarily. After all, I'll just take it myself. I'm afraid you don't have what it takes. Little Yin snapped back fiercely with a cold smile. Such presumptuous fools, the Western King Tinghua muttered disdainfully, clearly annoyed that this fledgling alliance dared to challenge Mang Mountain so brazenly. Enough of this nonsense. Let's settle this by the rules, the blue-clad man remarked casually. His stature within Mang Mountain was evidently high, as evidenced by the unanimous nodding from the other 4 kings, who turned their hostile gazes on Lin Dong and his group. Outside this central area, the onlookers watching the heated confrontation smirked, sensing there was no way this would end peacefully today. You all know the rules, so I won't repeat them. Win 3 out of 5 rounds to claim victory. The winner receives half of the opponent's territory. Any questions? The blue-clad man paused, directing his words towards Lin Dong. Regarding the Shintian Palace, my clan is quite interested. If you voluntarily hand it over afterward, Thunder Abyss Mountain might continue to exist within the beast combat domain. I think we should wait until we've won to discuss these matters, Lin Dong replied with a slight smile, while Little Yin glared fiercely at them. Did they assume they had already won? The blue-clad man seemed slightly surprised by Lin Dong's retort, but quickly nodded indifferently, though a slight chill crept into his smile. If you wish to make a spectacle of yourselves, so be it. Let's see who makes a fool of themselves. The Golden Ape Demon Commander growled angrily, gripping a massive black iron rod, which manifested with a swing, the very air tearing apart. The blue-clad man cast the Golden Ape Demon Commander a cold glance, then suddenly stomped his foot, causing the ground to quake. The earth rose, forming a gargantuan 1,000-foot platform as dust settled. Tung Feng, Tung Lin, go together. Handle this quickly, the man ordered flatly. Understood. The Eastern King Ting Feng and Western King Ting Lin both nodded, instantly leaping onto the enormous platform. I'll take on Tung Feng. The Golden Ape Demon Commander gripped his iron staff and said solemnly, "This is just the first match. We must give it our all. Losing would be a huge blow to morale. I'll handle Ting Lin." The Ghost Eagle Demon Commander stepped forward as well. They understood the importance of these initial battles. Although they were somewhat aware of Lin Dong and Little Yan's capabilities, the opponents before them were not to be underestimated. Even for them, the odds of winning weren't particularly high. Lin Dong understood their concerns and simply nodded without saying much. Whoosh! Seeing this, the two commanders didn't waste more words. They swiftly moved to the platform, appearing in front of Ting Feng and Tang Lin. The four stood in opposition, their gazes intertwined with icy determination, a chilling aura unfurling between them. From their bodies emanated a vast, majestic energy that rippled across the heavens and earth. Four supreme powerhouses at the revolution stage. The onlookers felt a surge of excitement at the potent energy resonating in the air. Both sides were illustrious figures in their respective regions, and it was uncertain who would emerge superior in this clash. In that moment, the very air seemed to freeze under the immense pressure from the platform, causing some of the stronger observers to pale slightly. Lin Dong's eyes were fixed intently on the platform. Suddenly, a deep concentration marked his gaze as the sound of rumbling thunder echoed. Wild winds roared, and the vast primordial energy enveloped the four figures, shooting forth like meteors across the sky. They collided with an earth-shattering impact. Boom! The thunderous sound continuously erupted from the platform. For luminous shadows intersected rapidly, distorting the entire space. Ferocious celestial energy violently swirled, and under such an intense confrontation, even the sky dimmed significantly. Lin Dong and his companions gazed solemnly at the fierce battle. Both sides were on par, yet Tang Feng and Tang Lin held a bloodline advantage. Although not as formidable as the four dominant clans, the Blood Vulture clan still had an edge over the Golden Ape and Ghost Eagle Demon Commanders. However, this advantage was not insurmountable. The Golden Ape and Ghost Eagle Commanders were shrewd, adept at avoiding direct confrontation. Their own capabilities were equally impressive, making it exceedingly difficult for Ting Feng and Tang Lin to overwhelm them. Moreover, neither commander truly expected to defeat Ting Feng and Tang Lin. Their goal was to drag the battle into a stalemate, achieving victory by a draw. For compared to the five kings of the Meng Mountain, their own heritage was indeed lacking. "Big brother, those two are no pushovers," Little Yin said gravely, observing that Tang Feng and Tang Lin were taking the initiative in the astonishing fight on the platform. After all, they belong to the Blood Vulture clan, challenging indeed. "In this fight, we seek not triumph but rather a draw. Our foundation compared to Meng Mountain is undoubtedly thinner," commented the Heavenly Dragon Demon Commander sternly. "Push for a draw?" Lin Dong kept his eyes glued to the platform. He felt a furrow form on his brow, sensing that getting a draw might not be as simple as they hoped. But he understood too well. Without some special strategy, victory in this evenly matched battle was anything but easy to achieve. Bang! On the platform, the four figures crossed paths again, enormous cracks spiderwebbing across the surface. The figures skidded back thousands of feet, the furrows marking their retreat. The Golden Ape Demon Commander's group seemed solemn, their breathing labored. That brutal clash had clearly been intense for both sides. "Defeating us might not be as simple as you think," the Golden Ape Demon Commander said, clutching his iron staff firmly. "Oh, really?" Tang Feng retorted with a cold laugh. His gaze shifted towards a man in green behind them, who nodded in response. "Warm-up's over. Now, let me show you what the real four elephants are." A mocking grin spread across Tang Feng's face. Stepping forward alongside Ting Lin, he clenched his hand. Dazzling light beams began to congeal in their palms. As these beams took shape, an immensely powerful ripple surged forth. Roar! A deep howl emanated from Ting Feng and Tang Lin, the light beam forming into a colossal, ancient stone pillar 1,000 meters tall. Carved upon it were the motifs of the Azure Dragon and White Tiger. That is, Lin Dong's pupils abruptly contracted as he stared at the gigantic stone pillar in their hands. The 17th of the relics of the ancients, Two ancient stone pillars shimmered with dazzling brilliance in the hands of Feng and his companion. One was engraved with a pattern of the azure dragon, the other with the white tiger. Faintly, it seemed as if the resounding roars of a dragon and tiger could be heard emanating from them. Four elephant immortal suppressing pillars. Lin Dong's eyes were fixed intently upon the ancient stone pillars now wielded by Feng and his partner. He immediately recognized them for what they were. The four elephant immortal suppressing pillars ranked 17th among the relics of the ancients. Unexpectedly, these legendary items were now in the hands of the five kings of the Mang Mountain. Beside him, Little Yin and the heavenly dragon demon commander also showed signs of alarm. From the old pillars, they sensed immense power. In the hands of someone as formidable as Feng, the power of these relics could become overwhelming, shattering any stalemate and amplifying their combat strength to astonishing levels. The four elephant immortal suppressing pillars consist of four pillars, Lin Dong somberly remarked. Feng and his companion currently hold the azure dragon pillar and the white tiger pillar. It appears they have split the pillars, each taking one. Yet, even a single four elephant pillar remains formidable. The golden ape and the others may suffer defeat. Damn it! The heavenly dragon demon commander snarled, grinding his teeth. He hadn't anticipated that the Mang Mountain would possess such powerful relics of the ancients. This immediately upset the balance. Across the land, a commotion erupted over the appearance of the two ancient stone pillars. Some sighed, recognizing that Mang Mountain's deep resources far exceeded those of the three demon commanders of the beast combat domain. Haha, let's end it here. Feng, glancing at the dismayed faces of the golden ape demon commander and his companion, laughed heartily. Without further delay, he waved his robe, sending the azure dragon pillar and the white tiger pillar flying. They transformed into 2,000 zhang arcs of light, tearing through the sky with unstoppable speed like lightning, hurtling towards the golden ape demon commander and his companion. Roar! The golden ape demon commander let out a low, angry roar. At that moment, his golden armor erupted with brilliant light. Strange patterns surged within the light, proving that his armor was also a divine object, though it lacked the prestige of appearing on the relics of the ancients list. Screech! The ghost eagle demon commander, too, sensed danger. He let out a piercing cry as his body swiftly enlarged, and black feathers rapidly sprouted over his surface, transforming him in the blink of an eye into an immense 1,000 zhang ghost eagle, fortifying his defenses to maximum strength. Boom! Just as the two activated their full defenses, the immensely large arcs of light penetrated the void. Under countless gazes, they crashed mercilessly into their bodies. The low, thunderous sound reverberated like an explosion, violent energies spreading like a storm. This ferocious clash left no room for stalemate. The golden light and dark radiance surrounding the ghost eagle demon commander became shattered under the enormous arcs of light, followed by muffled roars as both figures were hurled embarrassingly backward amidst shocked stares, carving a deep gorge hundreds of feet long into the ground upon impact. Haha, with that little strength, did you really hope to contend with us of Mang Mountain? How foolish! Feng and his companion stood atop the void, their laughter arrogant. With a beckoning hand, the ancient stone pillars returned to them. The battle was over. Sympathetic gazes fell upon the discomfited golden ape demon commander and his companion, who lay on the ground in disarray. The golden armor on the golden ape demon commander had been shattered, clearly showing that facing Feng and his companion wielding the four elephant immortal suppressing pillars, they were far outmatched. Lin Dong watched the scene unfold, his lips pressing together briefly. Then, with a gesture, someone swiftly rushed forward to help the two back. We lost. The golden ape demon commander's face was pale, blood still at the corner of his mouth. Though he felt some shame meeting Lin Dong's eyes, they'd entered the fray intending to shift the situation, only to be soundly defeated. It doesn't matter, Lin Dong reassured, smiling. His youthful face remained calm, providing slight comfort to the defeated commanders. Those bastards, the heavenly dragon demon commander gritted out. Feng and his partner already had the blood vulture clan's advantage. Now, They've resorted to using such powerful relics, it's just bullying. In the arena, only victory matters, not the means to achieve it. Lin Dong shook his head before softly stating, "We've already lost twice. Let me handle this one?" The Heavenly Dragon Demon Commander hesitated for a moment, tentatively asking. However, confidence was not on his side, as his strength was on par with that of the Golden Ape Demon Commander. If the opponent still held another, four-elephant immortal suppressing pillar, he feared inevitable defeat. If I still had the Nine Heavens Mountain range, I probably wouldn't lose, the Heavenly Dragon Demon Commander remarked, but then fell silent awkwardly, realizing that the Nine Heavens Mountain range, once his, had now been snatched away by Little Mink. Lin Dong chuckled softly, paused briefly in thought, then suddenly turned and clasped the Heavenly Dragon Demon Commander's palm, withdrawing quickly in front of astonished onlookers. "What's this?" The Heavenly Dragon Demon Commander looked down at his palm in surprise. "Just borrowing something," Lin Dong smiled. "Great." Joy flooded the eyes of the Heavenly Dragon Demon Commander as he nodded vigorously, leaping onto the platform, his gaze fixed towards Mang Mountain as he shouted coldly, "Come again!" "Haha, still not had enough of humiliation?" Tang Hua laughed mockingly, launching himself onto the platform as he tilted his head slightly with a teasing expression. Then, with a light grip, an ancient and fiery stone pillar appeared in his hand, adorned with vermilion bird patterns. Indeed, the vermilion bird pillar of the four-elephant immortal suppressing pillars was in his hand. Playing with the vermilion bird pillar, Tang Hua taunted, "Seeing this, won't you roll down yourself?" The Heavenly Dragon Demon Commander sneered, clenching his hands as immense primordial energy rippled outward, perfectly intertwined with the aura of life and death. "Still want to put up some resistance? Forget it, let's end this swiftly." Tang Hua smiled faintly, no intention of warming up. With a wave of his sleeve, the vermilion bird pillar shot skyward, a red blaze spreading out, causing the temperature to surge dramatically. Clearly, he intended to use his strongest measure to crush all morale of the four-elephant palace in one blow. Boom! The spectacular blaze roared forth, appearing above the Heavenly Dragon Demon Commander in numerous regretful gazes. Witnessing this scene, many sighed inwardly, convinced that the four-elephant palace would be thoroughly disgraced today, suffering complete defeat without even slightly hindering Mang Mountain. Amidst the cracking platform, the Heavenly Dragon Demon Commander bit his lip, facing the overwhelming assault. His sleeve flicked, and a bright blue beam erupted, expanding into a colossal blue bell. It seemed to resonate with the roaring sound of vast waves. Clang! The fiery blaze viciously struck the giant bell. However, the collapse expected by the crowd didn't occur. The bell stood firm, its chimes resonating, successfully withstanding the vermilion bird pillar's attack. "What?" Tung Lin and the others outside the platform changed expressions. "Is that the sea-stabilizing bell?" Luo Tong squinted slightly, voice tinged with doubt. The sea-stabilizing bell, ranked 26th on the Relics of the Ancients list? Tung Lin and the others were taken aback, then frowned deeply. They hadn't expected the four-elephant palace to come prepared. Although the sea-stabilizing bell's rank was lower than the four-elephant immortal suppressing pillars, Tang Hua currently possessed only one pillar, unable to fully unleash its power, and thus found it hard to break the sea-stabilizing bell's defense. "It seems Tang Hua won't win this round, but he won't lose either," Luo Tong remarked lightly. "No worries, with the Heavenly Dragon Demon Commander taking action, only those two guys opposite remain, and they aren't at the revolution stage. They're not worth mentioning," Tung Lin retorted coldly. Nearby, the yet-to-strike Ting Shan grinned, eyes filled with malice. "Relax, I'll ensure they feel utter despair next." On the platform, Tang Hua was shocked when his attack was blocked, frustration surging. With a thought, the vermilion bird pillar erupted with blinding red light, launching a more ferocious assault on the Heavenly Dragon Demon Commander, who, using the sea-stabilizing bell, managed to fend off the barrage, not yielding an inch. Although the Heavenly Dragon Demon Commander blocked the attack successfully, his counterattacks couldn't penetrate Tang Hua's vermilion bird pillar. Both parties showcased back-and-forth maneuvers, but it was evident that neither could clinch victory. The match ended in a draw. Surprised murmurs filled the surroundings, as they had expected the Four-Elephant Palace to suffer total defeat in this round. Unexpectedly, a slight comeback was salvaged. However, when their eyes turned to the Four-Elephant Palace's last untested members, Lin Dong and Little Yin, they shook their heads in private. The battle on the Heavenly Arena was a worrying affair for the Four-Elephant Palace. "Big brother, it's my turn." Little Yin took a deep breath, his voice low and resolute. Lin Dong nodded slightly, lightly gripping Little Yan's hand, a meaningful look flashing in his dark eyes. Under the gazes of countless onlookers, Little Yin slowly stepped forward. With a powerful leap, his towering figure soared through the sky before landing heavily on the platform. Roar! As Little Yin moved, the tiger-devouring army suddenly erupted with deep growls. They all sat down in unison, and their synchronized breaths created a vast and imposing black mist that spread through the air, creating a terrifying presence. Little Yan's face was icy cold. With a heavy stomp, the ground trembled, and the black mist converged into radiant streaks, surging into his body. Crack! With the massive infusion of energy, Little Yan's already robust body swelled several times over. His skin rippled with veins like writhing dragons, releasing a surge of explosive power. In merging his aura with that of the tiger-devouring army, Little Yan's strength was now sufficient to rival a super powerhouse at the Revolution stage. The gap between the perfect completion of the Death Mystique stage and the Revolution stage was considerable. Without the power of the Ancestral Talisman, Little Yan's sole reliance was on the fusion of this army he had personally trained. That guy is incredible, being able to perfectly integrate the strength of that army as his own. Among the spectators, there were those with keen insight. Watching this scene, their expressions turned serious. They understood the difficulty of such fusion, knowing that the power didn't originally belong to him. Co-opting it wasn't just challenging. It was nearly impossible without achieving perfect harmony with the army. Any mistake could result in the borrowed power backfiring like a bomb, causing grievous injuries. Within the demon realm, there were many top-tier powerhouses with formidable armies. However, even they wouldn't dare to use such a method lightly because the backlash was too much for them to handle. Commander Yan's skills are becoming more and more astonishing, the Heavenly Dragon Demon Commander remarked with a hint of surprise as they observed Little Yan's imposing presence. Compared to 2 months ago at the Divine Relic Mountain range, he had clearly grown much stronger. Even they had to admit that their chances of victory against him seemed slim now. Lin Dong nodded slightly. With the tiger-devouring army's power, Little Yin was no weaker than a Revolution stage expert. Even if the opponent, Teng Hua, possessed one of the Four-Elephant Immortal Suppressing Pillars, defeating Little Yin would not be an easy task. However, right now, the situation is pretty dire for us, the Heavenly Dragon Demon Commander said with a bitter smile. Out of the 3 battles, they had 2 losses and 1 draw. Now, they couldn't afford another loss or even a draw. To turn the tide, Little Yin had to win this one, otherwise, the battle was already lost. The Golden Ape Demon Commander and Ghost Eagle Demon Commander exchanged a wry smile, eyes filled with a bit of shame, acknowledging their earlier failures had put them at a disadvantage. No rush, take it slow. We haven't completely lost yet, Lin Dong smiled. Despite the unfavorable situation, there was still a glimmer of hope. Giving up was not in his nature. Seeing Lin Dong's calm demeanor despite the circumstances, the 3 demon commanders couldn't help but feel admiration. Such composure was something they found difficult to match. Lin Dong clearly had the charisma that could earn the respect of even the fierce and unruly Little Yin, who willingly called him Big Brother. Brother Lin Dong here, the sea stabilizing bell is returned to you. We owe our thanks to it, said the Heavenly Dragon Demon Commander, offering the Azure Bell to Lin Dong before the battle began. Lin Dong accepted it with a smile and noticed a hint of reluctance in the Heavenly Dragon Demon Commander's eyes. He said, I'll take it back for now, but since we're all on the same side now, once I deem it suitable, I might pass it on to you. Of course, everyone gets a share. The 3 demon commanders were stunned but inwardly delighted. At their level, Ordinary relics held no attraction for them. Only the divine relics once famed on the relics of the ancients list could entice them with great allure. These were usually impossible to obtain, but for Lin Dong, who possessed a treasury of divine relics, it seemed not as much of an issue. Lin Dong turned his gaze toward the platform, a faint smile playing on his lips. If he didn't take in these 3 revolution stage super powerhouses brought to him, wouldn't that be a foolish oversight? As Lin Dong collected his thoughts, a taunting voice echoed from the direction of the Mang Mountain. Soon, Teng Hua appeared on the platform, casting a disdainful glance at the formidable little yin in front of him with a slight curl of his lips. However, despite his mocking words, Teng Hua's eyes were devoid of any underestimation. The imposing aura emanating from little yin demanded his utmost attention and respect. Little yin looked at Teng Hua with an indifferent gaze, choosing not to engage in any argument. Instead, he clenched his fist, and a massive black hammer materialized in his hand. The appearance of the hammer caused the ground around him to crack open with fissures. The 9 cauldron divine hammer? Teng Hua's gaze sharpened as he noticed the mystical cauldron patterns on the giant hammer in Little Yan's grasp. "Seems you do have some skills," Teng Hua said in a low voice. He then grabbed hold of an ancient stone pillar, adorned with the light patterns of the black tortoise, which emitted a faint, eerie howl. Faced with Little Yin wielding the 9 cauldron divine hammer, Teng Hua dared not show any negligence. Roar! As Little Yan's arm holding the 9 cauldron divine hammer swelled with power, his eyes turned a bloodthirsty crimson. He let out a low growl, then stamped his foot, and his body shot into the air, tearing through the atmosphere. In an instant, he appeared above Teng Hua, swinging the hammer down with immense force, causing even the invisible space to crack. Clang! The ancient stone pillar surged forth aggressively at that moment, colliding fiercely with the divine hammer. An astounding storm erupted between them, and a low, thunderous boom echoed, leaving the ears of countless onlookers in pain. What an incredible clash! The onlookers were filled with amazement as they watched the ferocious exchange between the 2 figures. This raw and brutal collision was visually stunning. Clang, clang, clang. Neither fighter on the platform intended to avoid the onslaught. Each strike was a direct impact between the divine hammer and the stone pillar. As they clashed, space fractured, and the fierce energy created massive chasms in the ground below. The battle on the field had reached a stalemate. That Commander Yin from Thunder Abyss Mountain is ferocious, matching evenly with Teng Hua and his black tortoise pillar. Indeed, but the situation is still unfavorable for the 4 Elephant Palace. Even if Commander Yin manages a draw with Teng Hua once more, out of 5 matches, they've already lost twice and drawn twice. The 4 Elephant Palace has lost overall. Alas, the 4 Elephant Palace simply lacks the foundation compared to the long-established behemoth that is Mang Mountain. As the battle continued to heat up, whispers of regret spread among the spectators. The expressions of the heavenly dragon demon commander and others were tense, with worry in their eyes. They glanced at Lin Dong beside them, only to find his face remained as serene as a deep pool, seemingly unfazed by the adverse situation. Boom! In the arena, a storm swept through, forcing both warriors to retreat instantly. As they landed, blood was visible trickling down their hands. Heh, impressive. I never thought I'd be pushed to a draw by someone at the perfect completion of the Death Mystique stage, Teng Hua remarked, rubbing his blood-stained hand on the black tortoise pillar with a cold laugh. But this ends in a draw, and you've lost. Little Yan's eyes were blood-red, yet a bloodthirsty grin crept up his lips. Lose? My black tortoise pillar excels in defense. Even with the 9 cauldron divine hammer, you can't breach my defense. It's not a draw. You consider it a loss for you? Teng Hua taunted. Then I'll shatter this turtle shell to show you. Little Yin grinned wide, launching himself into the air. The 9 cauldron divine hammer in his hand expanded instantly, growing to 1,000 feet. Even before the hammer fell, the platform had utterly collapsed. Wall of the black tortoise. Teng Hua sneered, shaking the ancient stone pillar in his hand. A torrent of radiance surged forth, coalescing above into an enormous black tortoise light projection, exuding a majestic, world-destroying aura despite its silent stance. This black tortoise light projection clearly possessed terrifying defensive capabilities. Boom, boom. The immense hammer came crashing down, but just as it was about to strike the black tortoise light, the hammer halted. Little Yin flicked his finger, and a streak of black light descended. It was a smooth, black pearl. Hiss. The black pearl exploded above the black tortoise light, releasing countless sticky black radiances that poured down onto it. This unexpected turn of events took everyone by surprise. Even Teng Hui stood dumbfounded, likely never expecting his strongest defense to be shattered by a single black orb. How is this possible? Teng Hui exclaimed, but before he could grasp the situation, a massive divine hammer once again came crashing down from the sky, striking him directly. Bang! A deep sound echoed, and then everyone saw Teng Hui's figure being thrown back in a mess, spewing blood along the way. After flying 1,000 feet, he finally crashed heavily to the ground. Countless eyes watched as Teng Hui lay motionless on the ground, uncertain if he was alive or dead. The once rowdy plains fell into absolute silence. Teng Hui had been defeated. Teng Shan's body was embedded into the earth, with deep fissures spreading all around. The entire world seemed to fall into a silent impasse. Those watching wore expressions of shock on their faces, unable to believe what they were seeing. Teng Shan had lost? People exchanged looks, reading disbelief in each other's eyes. Who could have anticipated that Teng Shan, wielding the black tortoise pillar and renowned for his defense, would have his guard broken head-on by Little Yin? Even formidable super-strongs in the revolution stage would find that challenging. What an incredible commander, Yin! After a long silence, someone finally snapped back to reality and couldn't help but quietly praise. By overpowering a super-strong warrior of the revolution stage with the perfect completion of the death mystique stage, this news would certainly spread Little Yan's fame far and wide. Did he actually win? The 3 heavenly dragon demon commanders were equally stunned, their expressions turning peculiar. They hadn't expected that among the 5, the first to achieve victory wouldn't be one of them, the revolution stage super-strongs, but rather Little Yin, who was still at the perfect completion of the death mystique stage. Even though Little Yan's previously displayed strength suggested he was no weaker than them, defeating Teng Shan still seemed difficult. Yet who could have anticipated Teng Shan's strongest defense would be broken by Little Yin so swiftly? What exactly is that black orb? The 3 heavenly dragon demon commanders exchanged confused glances. The black light that burst from the orb earlier was filled with an indescribable corrosive power, like a darkness capable of enveloping the world, eroding every trace of light. Lin Dong merely smiled lightly, offering no further explanation. As for that black orb, it was naturally the dark demon-suppressing bead he had acquired from the Dark Lord. After dealing with the Demon Sea, he was left with 2 beads, and had given one to Little Yin, which enabled him to win in this confrontation. With this win, we stand at 2 losses, 1 draw, and 1 win. We're still behind by 1, the heavenly dragon demon commander remarked, glancing at Lin Dong before looking towards the direction of the Mang Mountain without any movement from its strongest member. He sighed with a wry smile. Brother Lin Dong, securing a win against Mang Mountain is already a significant achievement. Even if we lose today, no one can really fault us. After all, the Mang Mountain holds immense power, and the 4-Elephant Palace is just a newly formed alliance. The former is renowned, making this contest inherently unfair. However, under such circumstances, managing to secure 1 win still demonstrates their capability, deterring outside critique. Beside him, the Golden Ape Demon Commander and the others nodded. In the battle of 5 rounds, 1 more remained, but this one was already 90% lost. Even dreaming beyond expectation, if Lin Dong could surprise everyone and end in a draw, the 4-Elephant Palace would still lose. Hasn't it ended yet? Why rush to admit defeat? Lin Dong smiled, hesitated for a moment, then said, if I can win the last match, the heavenly arena would end in a draw, right? His remark left an immediate quietness around him. Turning his head, he saw the 3 heavenly dragon demon commanders staring blankly at him. After a brief pause, they awkwardly smiled and said, "Brother Lindong, Xianwang Luotong is the strongest among the 5 kings of the Mang Mountain, and he's from the 9 Phoenix clan, enhancing his combat power. Beating him is no simple task." Upon hearing this, Lindong understood that they didn't hold high hopes for such an outcome. Indeed, Xianwang Luotong's reputation was not minor. Despite Lindong's own advancements to the pinnacle of the great completion of the Death Mystique stage, there remained a significant gap between him and Luotong. Of course, if Brother Lindong can truly defeat Luotong, this heavenly arena match will end in a draw. At that time, Mang Mountain will have to retreat, and the crisis facing the 4-Elephant Palace will be resolved. The heavenly dragon demon commander chuckled. Of course, Brother Lindong, be careful. If you can't win, it's all right to concede. Losing to Mang Mountain isn't a disgrace. I'll do my best, Lindong nodded gently, then looked towards the leading figure of Mang Mountain in the distance. His slender hands slowly clenched. It had taken great effort to establish the 4-Elephant Palace. If they were to suffer such a setback now, all previous efforts might go to waste, which was something he clearly did not want to see. Big brother. Under the watchful eyes of the crowd, little Yin returned, his face still bearing traces of blood, but now full of excitement. His turn on the stage had finally salvaged some dignity for Mang Mountain. Well done, Lindong smiled. Little Yan's performance had indeed been flawless. Big brother, from here on, it's all on you. Little Yin grinned. Unlike the heavenly dragon demon commander and others, he had unwavering confidence in Lindong. Although the mystic king Luotong was Mang Mountain's strongest, Little Yin believed Lindong, even at the peak of the great completion of the Death Mystique stage, would not lose to him. Hearing this, the heavenly dragon demon commander and others could only smile wryly, not understanding where Little Yan's confidence came from. Lindong did not say much either. He patted Little Yan's arm and stepped out onto the enormous platform, his dark eyes looking towards the direction of Mang Mountain's main force. On the plain, the previous uproar caused by Ting Shan's defeat had quieted down. Eyes focused on the slender figure, with a strange excitement welling up in them. After Little Yan's reversal, no one underestimated the two from Thunder Abyss Mountain. As spectators, they were eager to see the heavenly arena become even more thrilling. They were curious whether the newly rising 4-Elephant Palace would thrive under Mang Mountain's oppression or fade away like a comet. Who would have thought the 4-Elephant Palace had some capability? Tung Feng helped Tang Shan back, his face unusually grim as he looked at Tung Shan's pitiful state. They had expected to crush the 4-Elephant Palace with a victory in this round, but the result was unexpected for everyone. That black bead he threw was strange. Tung Shan gritted his teeth. Though his defense was the strongest among the 4, it was still nullified by that black light. If you lost, no need for excuses. Luotong spoke with a calm expression, stepping out slowly. But it doesn't matter. I'll personally extinguish their flickering hope. I've always enjoyed doing that, making people despair. Tung Feng and the others nodded, their eyes hostilely fixed on the slender figure on the platform, sneering, he's truly out of luck. They knew that despite Luotong's calm demeanor, his methods were the most ruthless among them. Now that he was taking action, the one named Lindong likely wouldn't have a chance to escape unscathed. As countless eyes gathered on Luotong, he stepped onto the vast platform. His indifferent gaze locked onto Lindong, and with a slight movement, he reappeared on the platform. Lindong, facing Luotong in green robes, felt his body gradually tense. He could sense a dangerous aura from Luotong. When I fight, I show no mercy. But before every match, I give my opponents a chance. Surrender voluntarily or... Luotong's eyes stopped on Lindong, a cold smile forming at the corners of his mouth. Die. With that word, everyone sensed an intense killing intent quietly emanating from Luotong. Can you tell me what your choice is? Luotong flicked his tongue across his lips, his gaze on Lindong reminiscent of a cat toying with a mouse. Lindong's dark eyes fixed on Luotong. A smile surfaced on his youthful face. You talk too much. Huh. Some who awaited Lindong's decision couldn't help but laugh. This guy would dare provoke Luotong at this moment. What reckless audacity. but it was quite amusing. Sharp-tongued brat, Tung Fong and the others muttered, their eyelids twitching. Luo Tong's face remained calm, seemingly unprovoked by Lin Dong. He nodded slightly, and then his long, slender hands slowly emerged from his sleeves. Between his 10 fingers, arcs of light began to dance. You will regret this. Boom. In an instant, a storm-like brilliant radiance erupted from Luo Tong's body, filled with an overwhelming expanse of primordial energy. The entire world around them became dazzlingly vibrant, yet beneath this splendor was an ominous aura of death. Clearly, the mystic King Luo Tong, the strongest in the Mang Mountain, was beginning to harbor murderous intent. Sigh. Lin Dong gazed at the imposing scene before him, taking a deep breath as his expression turned solemn. Gradually, his skin started to shimmer with a crystalline appearance. Roar. A low, ancient-sounding dragon roar silently echoed from within Lin Dong. His bones seemed to wriggle, and an unprecedented, mighty force surged through him like a tidal wave. Wham! With a sudden clench of his fists, Lin Dong's dark eyes became exceptionally sharp. The power of the primordial dragon bones finally began to reveal itself.